everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast from Mashin Sentai Kiramager. I'm Bashi V, and joining me today is.
Right. Welcome
And
to
see, I didn't fuck it up.
welcome to episode 16. On this week's episode, uh, remember how Carantula went to Earth himself last week? He brought back with him a bag of marshmallows, and he loved them so much he wants more. So he sends a marshmallow monster down to turn humans into marshmallows for him.
And I've never identified with the villain more. Marshmallows are the shit.
So the Kiramages go to fight, and they roll call and pose, except for Takamichi, who is stunned still over seeing a marshmallow for some reason.
Like, the explanation for it's acceptable. Because it's not so much the marshmallow, just the shame that came with it. And honestly, very justified.
He was still being weird about it.
Takamichi and this entire show has been nothing but characters being weird about something.
Uh,
Remember the one who decided not to go take part in a monster fight so he could go face little emo captain in a video game?
oh yeah. To
And
be fair,
didn't
in
explain a damn thing?
Tometono's defense, he had a lot going on that day.
Yeah. But it was just one of those like, huh. Everybody acts weird about shit in this show. Even Senna, as good-hearted as she is, acts weird about all this.
So they try to fight the marshmallow monster, but it's a marshmallow. It's soft and squishy and flexible, and all their attacks just bounce off it.
Also, can we point out the fact that either they actually got somebody who was chunky to do this, or they put pillows in the guy's suit,
They probably put pillows in his suit.
which is awesome.
Or
It's
like,
rare when it's rare when you see a monster in this way, or and it actually be you know seemingly just like some oversized guy.
I mean,
Uh,
they might have found someone to do it, but uh,
and like even if it is, it's like it's rare that we see like the chunky monkey villains outside of like O's, where you had the fat cat
right.
from like the third episode.
Uh,
And also, I enjoyed watching Blue try to spank the monster. I'm sorry, he hit him with a sword, but I'm sorry, that was the same thing.
so uh, the monster gets away, so they ask Takemichi, "What's up? What's going on?" And he says, "I can't tell you." And so back at the base, Murio tells them,
Anyways,
"Younger brothers."
Uh,
So back when Takemichi was in high school 30 years ago, uh, he liked this girl, Akiho, and she gave him a gift of chocolates. And in return, she wanted a gift of marshmallows. Uh, Later, his classmates started picking at him, like, "Whoa, you're with her? I thought you liked flashier girls." And he's embarrassed, so he starts saying, "Oh, no, 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 she just misunderstood. I don't actually want these chocolates." And she's right outside the door and overhears all of it and gets upset. So Takemichi was going to apologize the next day, because later that day he had an expedition with a magic man from another world.
we know how this plays out.
Uh,
30 years later.
30 years later, he still hasn't apologized, and it torments him to this day.
Like this is one of those points where like that SpongeBob transition thing would have been perfect. Um, but yeah, pretty much don't be an asshole. That's the moral of this one. Don't be an asshole to people who give you gifts.
So, I think the moral of the story is don't be ashamed for liking someone.
That too. It's like you can like who you like. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
So nowadays she's playing a viol. She's a violinist. Maria looks her up, and she actually has a concert soon. So Cena gets the idea of like, hey, get some marshmallows and go apologize. Uh,
At which
and
point he says, "No."
and Cena's like, but we could just make our own marshmallows. And then Tom Tom gets the idea of like, actually, if we're making marshmallows, we could use that to study them and find their weakness.
You
This
know,
week's episode of Kiramager is finding the weakness of marshmallows.
which is pretty much two things, and they go with one of the two.
uh,
Uh, and of course, like the entire time, Tomatono's just being an ass about it.
well, he's getting straight to the point. Like, there's a monster out there, we need to beat it. He's the Bomba of the group.
Right. But he's literally just sitting around doing nothing.
No, oh wait.
Or
Oh,
Takamichi, I'm sorry.
Takamichi, yeah, okay.
Takamichi.
I was like, wait, did I mishear you, or did you say the wrong name?
I said the wrong name.
Okay.
100% I said the wrong name. Tomatono does it right, but Takamichi's he's just being an ass.
Because he's too embarrassed because it's been 30 years. The window of opportunity is closed so hard it's locked shut with chains.
Not wrong, because I'm sorry. Any one of us can't go back and apologize for anything that we did, 30 years ago. I was 6. I don't remember what I did or who I pissed off. I'm sure it was somebody. But even if I did remember, it's not like you can go back and go, I'm sorry, I pulled your hair.
Like, as Gumball would put it, that window would be harder to open than an ice cream stand in the Sahara Desert. So, Takamichi tries using the excuse of, I have to go treasure hunting. So Cena steals his changer and gives it to Sayo.
Which, good news. It works.
Yeah, so Sayo and Shigeru hop on their mechs and they go digging for treasure under a bridge. Except they've never used his jackhammer before, so Sayo ends up triggering the finisher.
Like, my two favorite things about this is, one, Sayo points out, is like, wow, that's very blunt and to the point of where it is. Which has been about the most accurate thing that we've, had for where these things were located. And then, yeah, Sayo just activating the finisher move.
It worked, too. They end up finding another gemstone in there. Didn't destroy it or anything. So, the others are making marshmallows, and, they have to put them in the fridge to cool off, and Sina is desperate to get Takamichi involved with any part of this process, as he refuses to do anything. She finally gives him a tray and tells him, like, just put this in the fridge already. He put it in the freezer.
Like an idiot.
But when...
Thank God he did.
Yeah, when Juru ends up dropping it and it breaks, that gives Tomitono an idea. It's not soft and squishy if it's solid.
So one of the two vulnerabilities of marshmallows. Aside from just eating the damn thing. Which that would be creepy and disturbing if they actually had them eat the Marshmallow Man.
The Marshmallow Monster reappears, and they go after him. Sena forces Takemichi to bring a bag of marshmallows that they made. Tamitono stays behind to work on his plan. Uh, and yeah, Sayo and Shigeru meet them there with the new gemstone. It's light green.
To me, that was a very ugly green.
It's all right.
Like, well, because my brain, and then this is just a personal thing. Is like it's to me, it's very much an olive green. And I was in the military. I hate that freaking color now. I despise olive green.
But it's not barf green, so it's almost, but it's not.
Right. It's just on the cusp of being barf green and baby shit green. It's like it's like right between the two, where it's neither one is as gross. Hey, I have a kid. I know what baby shit green looks like.
Oh. So Tamitano catches up the group surprisingly quickly with uh, a thing to shoot out of his gun to freeze the monster, so now they can hurt him. And we finally get the reason why Sina is trying to force Takemichi to apologize this whole time.
Real quick, I have a comment from Pixie, and I officially like her version better.
What's up?
He's like, it would have been perfect if they went the other route with it and melted the marshmallow, and it exploded all over Silver, and he goes, "Look, I finally brought you the marshmallow." It is something like that this show could have done, and it would have fit perfectly.
So the reason Cena is so pushy about this is because she doesn't like the idea that Takemichi is flaking on apologizing, or rather, the idea that he's flaking on anything. If he's going to be part of the team, she needs to know that he's reliable, and that means if he's going to do something, he's got to do it. So that he's was going to apologize and then hasn't isn't acceptable. Like, he needs to see it through.
And yeah, you can't have any regrets.
It doesn't matter if it's relevant to the team or not. She sees it as part of the team's business, whether or not he can commit to himself.
Which I mean, she's not wrong. Is like because I mean, this was touched on with Juror in the first episode with um, Sana wanting to commit to the thing. Is like if you're gonna have regrets for something, then you need to go do whatever it is you need to do so you don't have them.
Right.
Which in his case was go to the track meet.
We'll be fine. You take care of your personal life first.
And it's about keeping your promise.
So, Takemichi realizes what Sena means and decides, okay, I'll apologize to her after the fight. I'll handle the marshmallow monster. You guys take the big one that just showed up.
It's launching missiles.
It's the same as one we got before, except the one we got before had a red button, like a giant, what was it, self-destruct button or something?
It was the launch button. That was the launch button for the missiles. He had to push the button to launch the missile.
And well, not this time.
They killed it. The last time they killed it before they did it, so we just took that idea out.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a button. It can just launch the missiles. Seeing it.
This is one of those things that I like that this show is exploring, that whole trial and error aspect.
Right. Carantula is basically a guy.
Right. It's like every other Sentai is pretty much, here's the idea. If it doesn't work, we're gonna just do something else. This one is like, well, that was an idea, but we screwed it up. let's do it. Let's try this a different way. Same idea, just a different way. And like I do like the fact that like the entire episode up until this point, Carantula was complaining about running out of marshmallows.
So, seeing that the monster is launching missiles, Juru gets an idea for the new Kirame stone, a cement mixer. So when they form the mech and they use it, they just spray, wet cement all over the missiles, and then it hardens and seals it shut, and now he can't fire missiles anymore.
Which is actually intelligent. And honestly, if he tried to launch it, they should have just blown up.
And they're firing cement out of a barrel, so it's basically a gun. So Tametono takes the reins on this one.
Epically. Like this is one of the things that this show gets really good is the specific people being in control for certain reasons. Because usually it's like, oh, all the mechs are just overseen by a group of controls that all control the entire thing.
Right.
That has been just like the main way the mech sets up as of late. So, which is still kind of the case, but having Tametono take the reins they solely take the reins for it makes sense. Same thing when Senna takes over for speed. Makes sense.
Or Shigeru takes over for sword maneuvers.
Right. And, Juru just takes over because he's red and comes up with the ideas. And then Pink just takes over, Shigeru's shit. Or not Shigeru, Takamichi.
Yep, names.
Yeah, I should be better by that 16 episodes in.
Well, we usually just call them by their color until we get comfortable with their names, like halfway through the show. But with the same colored gemstones being their own characters,
it's a little difficult.
So, they fight the bad guy, they save the day. We get a montage of gunshots.
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, not that bad. Like, I've always hated the more projectile mechs. Lasers more than anything. Because I'm so sick of fucking laser blasts.
Kyuranger, it ruined it for us because that's all they were. And I do like Takamichi's line when he's finishing the monster, like, "Let my heart shine. This is the end."
Which is a really good line.
And so all the people that were turned into marshmallows have been saved and are turned back into humans. And Tarantula is in despair because he only has one marshmallow left. And then he bumps into Garuza and drops it in the water.
And, like any sane, normal person, is exceedingly sad about it.
And Garuza doesn't get it.
Well, Garuza's never had a marshmallow. If he would have ate one, he'd understand.
So Takamichi finally apologizes to Akiho, giving her the bag of marshmallows. And she forgives him and then asks why he hasn't changed in 30 years, and he dodges the question.
I'm more amazed that wasn't the first thing that was asked, other than, who are you? Because, to be fair, from that point to now, he's changed a little bit. His hair's a lot different. His style's completely different. He looks like an entirely different person.
I mean, I assume it dropped us in the middle of the conversation when he approached and said, "Do you remember me? It's Takamichi."
Right, and that's fair, but damn. But yeah, the I do love the fact that that did get asked. All we need now is the crossover movie with Sentai where a guy asks him what his skin routine is.
So the others are watching on the side, going, "Okay, so because Takamichi was depressed, he was holding us back. That's why Sina did this for her own benefit." But Jiro steps forward, saying, "No, I think it was more than that. I mean, if it was just that, would she really be smiling this much?"
Right, like, and there was some personal investment in that, in the aspect of this will make him happy in the end, kind of thing.
But also, I think Sina might be a sucker for a good romance.
That too. Like, I'm more amazed. Like, following that is like I'm more amazed that Pink didn't do that instead. Like, to me, is she does seem more that part,
Hmm. I think Pink is more the mother.
which again makes more sense that she would be forcing him to go apologize.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, this is more. Yeah, no, this is just Sina's role. Sayo is not it. So, the mid credits gag this time is Muriel asking if their new cement mixer can mix fruit. He cannot.
Nice try.
Yeah, no, that's it. And next week's episode, Takamichi supposedly finds the treasure he's been looking for.
Which I highly doubt.
Yeah, no, we don't believe that's actually the treasure he's looking for, but we'll see.
Like, I think like all of this is just the setup to get him the stone for his mech.
Like maybe it actually is that. Maybe it actually is the stone for his mech to take its actual like attack form.
Right. I mean, because it's been how many episodes that he's been here, and we've not seen his fighting mech yet. We know it has one. We've known it's had one.
Like 5 or
They
6.
almost usually, yeah, they most always usually have them, and usually they show up in the second episode, if not the first.
This show has been good about restraint.
Yeah, it has. Not so much on the comedy, which complete pass because the show is great with it. Like it fully understands the comedy it is committed to showing, so I have no problem with it being an overly comedic show, especially after the last two very depressing shows that we've had. Um, but yeah, the restraint they've shown with it is amazing, and like I can honestly picture that the whole purpose of his little treasure hunting thing was for that, and there's a specific one he's looking for, and then there'll be something else to do with the whole moonstone or monstone or whatever it's called.
Right.
Like there'll be something else entirely to help get rid of that. Like again, 16 episodes, and the show has been exceptionally well done.
Yeah. Uh,
Yes, especially for a series that is very unexpected with what they did. Like none of us were expecting this when through everything that we'd heard about the show leading up to it. Nobody expected it to be this funny, so much of a parody, etc. And it's been nothing but amazing.
and so far it's looking like it'll continue that way. So, uh, I'm looking forward
That
to
is my
seeing
ultimate
what
hope.
comes next.
Oh yeah, I am too. I'm disappointed with aesthetic aspects that are coming, but beyond that,
It's fine.
I understand, but lazy.
Not really. Anyways,
And
uh,
we'll get there.
thanks for joining us, then, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for Kamen Rider Zero One. So thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining. We'll see you tomorrow for Kamen Rider Zero One, and we'll be back next week for episode 17 of Kiramager.